everybody, this is Alex Fabrica coming at you again with another episode of Teaching Tips Tuesday. We've got an exciting for you today. I have with me Dr. Mona Minkara. How you doing today, Mona?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. So, Dr. Mona is a professor of bioengineering at Northeastern, and she also runs a YouTube channel called Planes, Trains, and Canes, in which she travels the world as a blind individual. And we are thrilled to have you on today. I want to start by talking a little bit about that professor of bioengineering part. First of all, I think you're the only bioengineer I've ever met. So, what specifically does that mean? What do you do?
Okay, so I mean that's a long story, but I'll keep it short. I actually got my degree in chemistry, and I'm just using what I do is I computationally model biological interfaces. So I try, I use computers to try to understand what's happening at interfaces. And so what I do is I specifically study the molecules that allow us to breathe in the lungs. So they line the alveoli and they allow for the lungs to expand and contract. So that's what I do.
Interesting. Okay, that's such a very specific thing. That's really cool. What were some of the challenges you faced getting up to this point in your academic career?
Oh man, that's a conversation. That's also a very long conversation. There's societal challenges where it was told to me that I couldn't do it to be a scientist. There's like literally the challenge of what exactly do I need to make this accessible to me. To the challenge of me going through and figuring out how to do it as a blind kid. So
So,
advocating
have you been
for,
blind your entire life?
yeah, since I was 7. Since I was 7.
Okay, so you have like a bit of like old residual visual memories, but not once it was college time to figure out how to make an accessible computational model to scan alveoli.
Yeah, I still there's still things even as a professor that I'm like, how do I do this? I don't know how to do this. Like, how do I like get through thousands of papers that are
Oh,
not accessible?
geez.
Like things like that. So there's always a new level of challenge at every stage.
Isn't that just the truth? That's something I always try to explain to my students. Like, yes, you can do great with your things right now, but I guarantee in 4 years, you're going to need to know how to do a lot more things. You always got to keep working, keep growing.
Yeah, yeah,
All right, so
exactly.
on to your travel life a little bit. Can you just explain in your own words what Planes, Trains, and Canes is all about?
Pleasures and Canes is a travel show from the lens and perspective of myself, a blind individual, a blind traveler. So I go around the world using only public transportation and travel independently. And I think this is really important. I do have a camera woman. Her name is Natalie Guzzi, who follows me around, but she's following me around. I don't know where she is when I'm on camera. Like I don't know like what's happening. Like it's literally how do I traverse the world? It's a show about exploring the world and seeking freedom.
Okay, that's a beautiful tagline at the end there. I really like that. So you say the world. Can you give us a short list of some of the places you've been?
Yeah, I've been to Johannesburg, London, Singapore, Istanbul, and Tokyo. I'm excited to say we have funding for season 2, where I've already been
Ooh.
to Peru, Sweden, and Norway, and I'm going to Morocco and the Philippines. And I've traveled a lot of other places, not within Planes, Trains, and Canes, but yeah.
If I did my math quick enough in my head, I believe that is all the continents but Antarctica.
Yeah, that's the goal.
So I'd say the world. I'd say the world is a pretty fitting term. Which country did you find was the most accessible?
I can't say country, but I can tell you city. It was
Okay.
Tokyo. From a public transportation perspective, in Tokyo, it was amazingly accessible. Like there were cane guides; those are ground for canes everywhere. There were
We lost your
basically,
camera.
yeah,
There we go. Okay.
yeah. There were cane guides pretty much everywhere. The trains had different musical tones. You while you're walking in a public building, there's different soundscapes I call them. For if there's an exit, you'd hear a Tweety bird. If there's like a bathroom, you'd hear running water. Um, and funny enough, even crossing the street north south was a different sound than east west. I mean, it's a
That
phenomenal.
is so
Yeah,
cool.
it really is really cool. Like,
What an O&M's dream.
yeah, did you watch that episode?
I do not believe I watched Tokyo, no, but I'll need to get some inspiration.
Yeah, please let me know what you think when you do.
Yeah, for sure. So on the converse, what was the least accessible place you've traveled?
Okay, that's a really hard question to answer because to me, least accessible was more of an emotional state than
Hmm.
the actual infrastructure. And so it was really challenging for me places that just kept on stopping me from trying to do things. That to me is least accessible.
You know what you're doing, you know where you need to be going, but somebody comes up and thinks that you don't.
Or just doesn't let me just because I'm blind. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Could you give us an example of that?
Actually, that's what happened in London. So that happened to me a lot. People come up to me like, "Where's your caretaker?" But also like I was trying to get to the train, and I just asked where the train was, and then they're like, "You can't ride the train." There's a whole thing. You should definitely watch the whole spiel that happened between me and the London ground worker, who actually like he was awesome to let us film the whole thing and um, allow for the conversation to unfold naturally.
Because I'm sure that other people will see that who may have made that same mistake that that guy made, and hopefully they'll have the opportunity to learn from that.
Yeah, and it really created a lot of discussion, that video.
Good.
Just
So,
the whole
what would you tell a blind person, visually impaired person who is nervous about they want to travel but they don't know, they feel a lot of uncertainty? What could you tell that person to help clear out some of that uncertainty?
Well, I honestly what I would start off is, I would tell them to take it one step at a time, right? And there's a lot of sighted people that also don't like traveling or
True. Yeah.
traveling. It's not even. Sight or not. I would tell them like be gentle with yourself, but you know, it's a chance for exploration and excitement. And take it
Okay.
easy, one step at a time.
Do you have a good first timers destination?
I don't know. Tokyo?
Tokyo.
I'm
Okay. Yeah.
so far though.
That is the additional challenge. Like, there's the language barrier component. There's the like having to convert. I guess you got to convert money pretty much anywhere you go. But I can imagine Tokyo seeming very daunting.
Yeah, but it was amazing. I don't know. There's something that comes along with every place you go to.
What do you think your most valuable travel experience has been?
I mean, all of it. I feel like every single time I go, I level up. I like learn another element of myself. I learn
Huh.
another technique, another piece of information about my environment. I know it's really hard to pinpoint one place. I do have to
It all
say,
goes into one big bucket, it seems like.
yeah, it does. I do have to say the first time I went to because the first episode, me going to Johannesburg was a big deal because that was the first time I ever truly told myself it's okay to get lost and try to do this on your own, and I did.
Okay, well then I'll take that one though. That's a lesson I always teach, like the art of getting lost and then the art of stopping being lost, finding
Getting
yourself
found.
again. Yeah. All right, I have one more question for you. This is a question I ask all my guests, and that is, what is your favorite part of your job? And you can take this from the bioengineering perspective, you can take this from the planes, trains, and canes, whichever job you want to talk about.
I love being a scientist. I love creating new knowledge, and I love the challenge of it. I love having to sit down and figure out what my next step is. That is that's what lights up my life. Like I that's what excites me.
That is a totally unique answer so far on Teaching Tips Tuesday, so I greatly appreciate that.
Thanks.
And I graciously appreciate your time today. Our interview is all wrapped up, so thank you so much again, Dr. Mona, for coming on Teaching Tips
You
Tuesday.
for Thank you so much for having me, and thank you all for watching. Okay.
Everybody make sure to watch Planes, Trains, and Canes, and make sure to catch us next week for another episode of Teaching Tips Tuesday. Have a good one.
Oh, let's put the link down below for Play
Yeah,
Street and
okay. Will do.